Hi, I'm Dr. Carol Clark, and this is another segment on our series, You Don't Know What You Don't Know. I get asked a lot, as I'm president and director of the International Institute of Clinical Sexology, which offers a PhD in clinical sexology. And I get asked a lot, is our program accredited? So I want to explain the difference between accreditation, licensure for a program, and continuing education approval, because those are three different things that people get very confused about. So first, let's talk about accreditation. The reason a school program would become accredited is so that the person taking that program can go on and become licensed. So for instance, as a licensed mental health counselor, when I went to school, I went to a CACREP, C-A-C-R-E-P, accredited program. CACREP is a U.S. Department of Education accredited program that can accredit school programs. Okay, so what this means is the state of Florida, when they are looking at licensing someone like me, they don't have time to look up every little school that somebody might go to and see if it meets all the requirements that the state of Florida has to license somebody. So they say, did you go to an accredited school? Because they know the accrediting body does that. The accrediting agency will make sure that a program, a mental health counseling graduate program, master's degree program, meets requirements that are up to the standards of what the state would require to license a person. You with me? So there were certain courses I had to take. There's certain practicum requirements. There's, how everything is run in the program. It's all held to a certain standard. And CACREP looks at everything with a fine-tooth comb and says, okay, you're accredited. Now, of course, it's extremely expensive and really difficult to become CACREP accredited. But a school that is going to attract students who want to be licensed in their state has to do that, because that's the only way students will become licensed. So if you are looking for a master's program so that you can become a licensed clinician, a licensed mental health counselor, clinical social worker, or a marriage and family therapist, you need to go to a CACREP accredited program. Now, let's look at my program, IICS. We offer a PhD in clinical sexology. We do not need to be accredited. Our degree does not lead to a license. So the accreditation, even if we could find someone, CACREP wouldn't accredit us because, that's not what we do. We take people who are already trained as therapists, or who are already coaches, or already educators, or medical professionals, and they will earn a degree with us that will allow them to enhance their career, but it will not lead to a license. So we do not need to be accredited. And even if we could find someone other than CACREP to accredit us, it would, and I've looked, and I can't find anyone. I can't find any organization to do that. And it would be enormously expensive, and I'd have to raise tuition. And for what? Because it's not going to do you, the student, any good at all. The only possible benefit would be accredited schools do sometimes, not all the time, allow students to get financial aid, either for the program or to defer their current student loans, federal student loans. Now, I say sometimes because I discovered through one accreditation agency that I thought, oh, here, I found someone that would accredit us. And it turns out that no, this is a good thing I talked to them at length, because it turned out that No, you would still not be able to defer your student loans, or you wouldn't be able to get student loans, even if I got accredited through them. So pays to read the fine print, right? So there's no earthly reason for a school like ours to become accredited. Now, what do you, the prospective student, want to know? Well, you want to know that we're a legitimate school. You want to know that you're not throwing your money away, that this is a substantial degree, that we have oversight. And you're assured of that because we have a license, not to be confused with like a mental health license. We have, but it is a license to practice, a license to do what we're doing. So it kind of is like a mental health license or a driver's license or any other kind of license where you have the state says, we're going to look at everything you're doing and make sure that you're competent to do it, that you're meeting certain standards. And we are licensed by the State of Florida Commission of Independent Education. And what they do is they go over everything we do with a fine-tooth comb. And we are audited every year. And they look over our program, they look over our faculty, and they look over even our physical premises, even though nobody comes in person anymore because of COVID. So we are looked at and monitored and audited and making sure we're on sound financial ground. All right, so that you can come to us with perfect assurance that we're going to be here next year, that the degree you're getting has some substance and weight to it. And just in case you're wondering, because we're licensed by the state of Florida, yes, your PhD is good wherever you go. It's a degree. You've earned it. Just because I got my master's degree in New Jersey doesn't mean that that's the only place it's good. No, once you earn your degree, it is your degree wherever you go. Okay, so that's the difference between licensing and accreditation. And I was going to add in the continuing education. There are different entities that certify people or license people, like the state of Florida that licenses mental health counselors, marriage family therapists, clinical social workers, psychologists, a bunch of other people, and other certifications that are out there that certify people and say, okay, you've met standards for us to certify you, and now you can call yourself, for instance, a certified sex therapist. And so one of the other things that we have going for us is that under the name therapy certification training, and sometimes under my name, Dr. Carol Clark, we're approved provider of continuing education. So when you take our programs, there's one more layer of monitoring and auditing that we get. But we can offer continuing education credit under those names, under those entities, for mental health counselors, sex therapists to get their continuing education in order to maintain their certifications. All right, so now you know what you didn't know. Thank you.